Political commentator Chris Cillizza out with his 7 reasons why Kamala Harris lost. Just to go over them, it's the economy stupid, Joe Biden was unpopular, she didn't get away from Biden, mediocre candidate, democracy and fascism, Latinos, and the bro vote. Chris Cillizza, host of So What on YouTube, now joins me. Chris, I have all of your reasons in front of me here. I was reading them yesterday, and the one thing I kept saying over and over again in my head is the first thing that you start off with. It was the economy, stupid.
Yeah, look, if you're someone like me and you spend years on this stuff, right, you tend to overthink it sometimes, to be totally candid. And I think when you look through the exit polling, that really jumped out at me. And I don't want to throw too many numbers at people, but I'll give you these two because I think it's really powerful. 67%, 2/3 of voters on Tuesday said the economy was either not so good or poor. Okay. So then of those 2/3, Trump won by 40 points, 69-29. You never want to say the election's only about just this one thing, but that's a gigantic thing. And I think we saw this over and over and over again, which was people, whether they should have been or not, people did not think the economy, either in their own lives or sort of more broadly, was where they wanted it to be. And and they laid the blame for that at the feet of Joe Biden and, by extension, Kamala Harris. And that was sort of the election. They
came to their polling booth with kitchen table issues top of mind. The other thing several guests were pointing out yesterday is they kept, going back to that View interview where she said she couldn't think about anything she would have done differently. How much did this result come down to her not being able to escape President Biden's shadow? And maybe even more than that, not being willing to escape it, Chris?
I think it's the latter, Markie. And, I think that, look, it seemed pretty clear to me from the start. We knew Joe Biden was not popular. I mean, this is not a new revelation that happened in the final 2 weeks of the campaign. I mean, he's been at 38, 39, 40% approval for 18 months. When you have that, and you are directly tied to a person like that because you are his vice president, it seems to me that order number one needs to be, how can we find ways to make it clear to the American public, particularly undecided voters, that I am not, in fact, going to be a continuation of this unpopular president's term? She did not do that. And the View thing to me was if I had to point to a sort of the worst moment in terms of her own mistakes, a lot of this stuff is atmospheric, environmental. There's only so much she could do about the economy per se.
In 107 days.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah.
But when you go on and say there's not a thing I would have done different from a deeply unpopular incumbent president in October, which is when she did it, if I'm looking at sort of the main mistake or main error she made, it's that.
She knew that question was coming. I'm surprised she didn't have an answer locked and loaded.
And it's not hard, right? All she had to say is, look, I was the vice president. When I disagreed with the president, I made clear my views with him privately. He ultimately made a decision. But of course, my presidency wouldn't be Joe Biden's presidency. I just thought of that on the fly, and I'm not running for president.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.